The sky above Metropolis doesn't break. It remembers. A wound tears open over the daily planet, green fire spiraling like a dying scream. Every screen on Earth flickers to one word: extinction. Then it steps through, 70 feet of breathing nightmare, armor that pulses like a heartbeat, eyes like collapsing stars, runes older than Krypton carved into bones that refuse to stay buried. Superman arrives and freezes. No heartbeat, no pulse, just hollow silence where life should be. Wonder Woman's hand trembles. The gods aren't answering, they're hiding. The creature roars, and every human sees the same vision. Worlds burning, civilizations screaming, 1,000 extinction events with this thing walking through untouched. From the watchtower, Martian Manhunter whispers, "It doesn't destroy worlds, it ends eras." The creature looks at Earth, patient, eternal, hungry, and no one has a plan. The sky above Metropolis does not break, it remembers. At 3:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, clouds freeze mid-drift. Birds hang suspended like frames in a paused film. 14 million people look upward as reality holds its breath. Then the sky folds inward. Not lightning, not a boom tube. Something presses against the fabric of existence from the other side. Something so massive that space bends before it arrives. A spiral of jade fire tears open above the daily planet. Heat floods the skyline in a visible wave. Windows fracture outward across 6 city blocks. The famous Golden Globe trembles as gravity shifts sideways for 3 heartbeats. Inside the newsroom, Lois Lane grabs her desk as the floor tilts. Monitors explode in showers of sparks. Somewhere below, car alarms scream in discordant chorus. Then silence. Perfect silence. And something descends. It does not fall like a creature. It falls like a closing argument. 30 feet above the street, the being stops, suspended in warped gravity that obeys only its will. Asphalt beneath it liquefies without contact. Cars crumple inward as if crushed by invisible hands. The air itself recoils from its presence. It is shaped like a dinosaur, but no fossil ever carried this horror. 80 feet of muscle wrapped in obsidian armor that breathes with bioluminescent veins. Its skull stretches backward into a crown of jagged ridges, each one etched with symbols that pulse like heartbeats. Not decoration, language, ancient beyond measure. Its eyes burn like dying stars, not with heat, but with the cold patience of something that has witnessed galaxies go dark. When it inhales, the temperature drops 15 degrees. When it exhales, storm clouds twist tighter overhead. Across the world, every screen stabilizes for exactly 1 second. One word appears: extinction. No source, no signal, no explanation. The creature opens its mouth. The roar that emerges does not travel through air. It travels through bone, through memory, through the ancient cortex of every human brain that still remembers what it meant to be prey. 12 million people fall to their knees without understanding why. 3 seconds later, a sonic boom splits the atmosphere. Superman arrives like a red-blue comet, cape trailing fire from atmospheric friction. He hovers 50 feet from the creature, eyes blazing with barely contained heat vision. "You picked the wrong planet!" He strikes at Mach 20. The shockwave shatters every remaining window within 4 blocks. Debris cascades downward in slow-motion waterfalls of glass and steel. The creature moves 1 inch. 1. Its head tilts with mechanical precision, analyzing. Superman's fists clench tighter. He has staggered Darkseid with less force. He has moved moons. He has punched through dimensions. This thing barely noticed. He swings again, harder. Enough kinetic energy to shift tectonic plates. The impact detonates like a nuclear blast without radiation, mushrooming upward in a column of displaced air and pulverized concrete. Dust floods the skyline. When it settles, The creature stands unmoved. Faint golden light flickers along its armored veins. Learning. Superman's heat vision ignites, twin beams of concentrated solar fury cutting through the debris cloud. They strike the creature's chest plate dead center. For a moment, the armor glows molten orange. Then the beams curve. They bend around the creature's body in spiraling ribbons. They vanish into its mass. Absorbed. Superman's eyes widen. The creature opens its mouth and fires the sun back at him. A concentrated beam of compressed solar energy, his own power refined and weaponized, slams into Superman with force that launches him through 3 skyscrapers. Steel screams. Concrete explodes. He emerges from the far side trailing debris and blood. Across the city, sirens multiply into a symphony of panic. In the Daily Planet, Lois Lane watches the distant explosion through a shattered window. "Clark," she whispers. 40,000 miles above Earth, the watchtower's alarms ignite in violent crimson. Batman stands motionless before the central display, watching sensor data cascade in streams of impossible readings. Wonder Woman grips her sword hilt. Flash vibrates with nervous energy. Cyborg's eye glows brighter as he processes incoming information. "What is it?" Diana asks. Cyborg's voice carries an edge of digital static. It's not mimicking his powers. It's copying them at a cellular level. It just restructured its entire biomatrix to metabolize solar radiation. Flash stares at the screen. "So it downloaded Superman?" "Worse," Batman says quietly. "It's still learning, and it hasn't even started trying yet." On the streets of Metropolis, Superman rockets back toward the creature, fury igniting his solar aura until he blazes like a small sun. He grabs it by the armored jaw and drives it upward, through clouds, through atmosphere, into the black void of space. Earth curves beneath them like a blue marble. The creature does not struggle, it studies. Superman hammers it with blows that once staggered gods. Each punch carries the force of colliding planets. Cracks appear across the obsidian armor. For one heartbeat, hope. Then the cracks seal. The symbols along its body flare brighter as its structure rewrites itself mid-combat. It is not just surviving, it is evolving. The creature clamps its claws onto Superman's cape and pulls him close. Its grip distorts gravity around his cells. The pressure is not physical, it is existential. Reality itself tightens around him. Its tail lashes once. Superman is driven downward like a meteor. They crash into the Atlantic Ocean. A tsunami erupts toward the eastern seaboard, a wall of water 300 feet high moving at impossible speed. Before it reaches land, a golden blur intercepts it. Wonder Woman braces her shield against the surge, divine strength channeling through her arms as she deflects millions of tons of seawater back into the depths. The ocean calms for 3 seconds. Then something rises from below. Aquaman emerges from the churning depths, trident crackling with bioluminescent power. His eyes glow with the cold fury of oceanic pressure. "What have you brought to my kingdom?" he demands. The water begins to freeze, not from cold, from energy absorption. The creature stands on the ocean floor as if gravity answers only to it. Marine life flees in chaotic spirals. Submarines lose power and drift downward toward crushing depths. Aquaman commands the pressure of the abyss itself, 4 tons per square inch, focused into a crushing sphere around the creature. It turns its head. The pressure vanishes. Adapted. In orbit, a Green Lantern squadron arrives in emerald formation. 12 rings blazing with constructs of chains, cannons, and geometric shields layered in perfect defensive geometry. "Unknown entity," the lead lantern commands. "You are in violation of Oan jurisdiction. Stand down immediately." The creature tilts its head. The lanterns fire. Concentrated willpower converges in a blinding storm of light. For one moment, the creature is consumed in radiance. Then its armor shifts tone, harmonizing with the emotional spectrum frequency. The beams bend. Constructs destabilize mid-formation. "It's syncing with our rings," one lantern gasps. The creature swipes once, not physically, energetically. Their constructs shatter like spun glass. 12 lanterns are hurled into the upper atmosphere, rings sparking erratically. Flash arrives in a storm of lightning, circling the battlefield at velocities approaching light speed. He phases through the creature's torso and screams. He stumbles backward across the water's surface, electricity flickering chaotically around him. "It adjusted to speed force frequency mid-phase. That's impossible!" "Everything is possible." Batman's voice cuts through the comms. "If evolution has no limit." Superman rises from the ocean again, suit torn, blood trailing from a cut above his eye. His solar aura burns brighter than before. He is drawing more power from the sun, pushing beyond safe biological thresholds. The creature's chest now radiates golden light stronger than his own. It has refined his power, optimized it, and it still has not attacked at full capacity. In the Watchtower, Cyborg accesses deep space archives that have never been opened, encrypted files from civilizations dead for millennia. "I'm finding references," he says slowly. "Fragmentary records from extinct star systems, civilizations that were more advanced than anything we've encountered." "What happened to them?" Flash asks. Cyborg's face pales. "Same pattern every time. A scout arrives, tests resistance, catalogs threats. Then the main force follows." Silence fills the command center. "It's not an invasion," Batman says. "It's an evaluation." Wonder Woman's jaw tightens. "Then we ensure it reports failure." On Earth, the creature finally moves with purpose. It launches from the ocean in a single gravitational surge, ascending without propulsion or thrust. The air bends around it as if afraid to resist. It does not head toward population centers. It heads toward power. Star Labs, Central City. Flash feels it before sensors register the approach. A pressure in the speed force like something massive swimming upstream through time itself. "It's targeting the particle accelerator," he breathes. He runs. The creature lands outside Star Labs in an earthquake that buckles the street for 3 blocks. Flash circles it at near light speed, generating a containment vortex powerful enough to trap a hurricane. For 2 seconds, it works. Then, the creature steps forward. The vortex collapses inward as if swallowed. Lightning around Flash shifts color, warped to the same jade hue as the creature's symbols. It opens its mouth. Not fire, not energy, frequency. A pulse that jams the speed force itself. Flash is thrown out of phase and slammed through a concrete wall, electricity flickering erratically. He gasps into the comms. "It jammed the speed force like a radio signal. This thing understands everything." In the Watchtower, Martian Manhunter speaks for the first time in hours. His voice carries something rare for a being who has witnessed his entire world die. Fear. "I attempted to read its mind." Batman turns. "And?" "There is no mind, not as we understand it. There is only purpose, a singular directive repeated across every cell of its being." "Which is?" Manhunter's eyes meet his. "Evaluate, catalog, prepare." Prepare for what? Before Manhunter can answer, alarms scream across every channel. Cyborg's voice breaks with digital distortion. "We have incoming, deep space, multiple signatures." The main display shifts to show the outer solar system. Beyond Pluto, space is folding. Not one distortion, hundreds. The sky doesn't tear this time, it peels. Reality unzips from outside as massive silhouettes emerge from folded space, shapes too large for comprehension. Not ships in any traditional sense, not biological either. hybrid. Living structures armored in cosmic alloy, spines of energy stretching miles long, each one surrounded by gravitational fields strong enough to bend light. The Devourer Fleet. 300 vessels spread across the outer solar system in perfect geometric formation. On Earth, the scout creature goes still. Its symbols pulse in synchronized rhythm with the approaching armada. "It's transmitting," Cyborg says, "uploading everything it learned. Our powers, our weaknesses, our resistance thresholds." Superman hovers above Metropolis, watching the sky. For the first time since Krypton burned, he feels truly small. Then we stop it from finishing that transmission. He launches upward like a comet. Wonder Woman follows, divine light blazing around her form. They strike the scout simultaneously, Superman with solar fury, Diana with God-forged steel. The creature adapts to both at once. Its armor splits and reforms, half resonating with divine frequency, half absorbing Kryptonian energy. But something is different. Martian Manhunter phases through the ground beneath it, his telepathic power not attacking the creature's mind, but disrupting its communication signal. "I cannot read it," he says through gritted teeth, "but I can silence it." The creature's symbols flicker. Transmission interrupted. In deep space, the fleet pauses. The lead vessel, larger than the others, crowned with spires that pierce the void like cathedral towers, turns its attention toward Earth. The King. Its voice enters the mind of every telepath in the solar system simultaneously. Not words, concepts. Evaluation incomplete. Resistance detected. Direct assessment required. The fleet accelerates. Superman meets them at the edge of Earth's orbit. He floats alone before 300 vessels, cape drifting in solar wind, eyes blazing with everything he has left. The King's voice enters his mind. "You are singular. We are infinite. Your defiance is mathematically irrelevant." Superman's fists clench. "I've heard that before." He flies straight into the fleet. The first vessel fires, not a weapon, but a scanner. Emerald light washes over him, cataloging his cellular structure, mapping his power sources, calculating his limitations. He answers with heat vision at maximum output. The beam carves through the vessel's outer hull. Organic metallic tissue splits apart. For the first time, a Devourer ship bleeds. The fleet responds instantly. Energy reroutes. Adaptation algorithms spike. The wounded section hardens, shifting molecular alignment to reflect his exact wavelength. But Superman is already moving. He tears through 3 more vessels before they can adapt, ripping through their cores with Kryptonian fury. Debris spirals into the void. The King watches. It extends a single appendage, a spear of condensed stellar energy larger than the moon. Remove variable. The spear fires. It strikes Superman with force that would shatter planets. From Earth, the sky turns white. For 3 heartbeats, there is only blinding radiance. Then, the light fractures. A silhouette remains in its center, still alive, still burning. Superman's eyes open within the explosion, now glowing pure white. He didn't just survive the strike, he absorbed it. "You want to measure this world?" His voice echoes across vacuum through pure willpower. "Then measure this." He drives forward like a newborn star, punching straight through the King's extended weapon and shattering it into dying fragments. Across the fleet, formation destabilizes. The first crack appears in the Devourer strategy. On Earth, the scout creature resumes its assault. Without transmission ability, it defaults to primary directive: maximize damage assessment. It heads toward the nearest nuclear facility. Wonder Woman intercepts it mid-flight, driving her blade through a gap in its armor. Divine ichor spills, golden blood that sizzles against the air. "You are not invincible," she snarls. The creature grabs her sword arm and squeezes. Bones crack. Diana screams but does not release her weapon. She drives it deeper, twisting. Flash returns to the battlefield, body still sparking from Speed Force disruption. He cannot phase through the creature, but he can hit it. Infinite mass punch, then another, then another. Each strike lands in the millisecond gap between adaptations, damage delivered faster than evolution can counter. Aquaman rises from a nearby river, channeling planetary magnetism through his trident. Lightning crashes down from the ionosphere, striking the creature repeatedly. It staggers. In space, the Devourer fleet responds to their king's damaged state by initiating contingency protocols. The vessels align in a massive geometric array. Lines of jade energy connect ship to ship, forming a lattice aimed directly at the sun. They're not targeting cities, Cyborg realizes. They're targeting stellar output. Batman's voice is ice. They're going to drain the sun. The siphon begins. Microscopic energy threads bite into solar fusion, extracting power in carefully calibrated increments. The sun flickers, just slightly, but Superman feels it, like a fist tightening around his heart. His power source, dimming. On Earth, daylight takes on a sickly hue. Plants tilt uncertainly. Solar panels lose output. Shadows lengthen unnaturally. If the sun dies, Earth follows. No invasion necessary, just darkness. Superman looks at the siphon array, then at Earth, then at the scout still fighting the League. He makes his choice. He flies toward the sun. Clark! Batman's voice cuts through the calm. If you absorb too much, your cells will... I know. He plunges into the solar surface. Fusion storms swallow him whole. For a moment, he disappears entirely. On Earth, the scout senses the disruption. Its symbols flare as it tries to compensate for the destabilizing siphon. Martian Manhunter phases into its core, not to attack, but to deliver a message directly into its programming. Images of Earth's history, its wars, its recoveries, its refusal to stay broken. This world does not calculate survival, it chooses it. The creature hesitates, and then the sun erupts. Not a natural flare, a directed one. Superman explodes outward from the solar core, trailing stellar plasma, his body a conduit for the star's heart. He doesn't radiate sunlight, he commands it. A wave of golden energy surges across space, slamming into the Devourer fleet and shredding the siphon lattice. Emerald connections shatter. Vessels drift out of formation. The king raises shields. It is not enough. Superman strikes the king with the focused fury of a star. Not his own power now, but the sun's, channeled through Kryptonian cells pushed beyond every limit. Armor fractures. The king bleeds light. On Earth, the scout creature falls to its knees. Its connection to the fleet severed, its adaptive systems overloaded, it is finally vulnerable. Wonder Woman stands before it, sword raised, ready to deliver the killing blow. Then she hesitates. Through her divine senses, she perceives something she did not expect. Fear. Not tactical retreat, genuine fear. The creature was designed for a universe where resistance was calculated, where opposition could be measured and overcome through superior adaptation. It was not designed for beings who fight beyond logic, who sacrifice beyond reason, who hope beyond evidence. You do not understand us, Diana says quietly, and you never will. The creature's eyes dim. Its armor sheds in heavy plates, falling away to reveal organic tissue beneath. Vulnerable now. Mortal. In space, the Devourer fleet processes catastrophic failure across every metric. Siphon destroyed. King damaged. Scout neutralized. Resistance threshold exceeded maximum projections. Harvest cost exceeds acceptable parameters. The King's massive eyes lock with Superman's one final time. You are anomaly. This system is anomaly. Data insufficient for conquest projection. Superman floats before it, body barely holding together, solar fire dimming around him. "We're not data," he says. "We're people, and we don't give up." The king studies him for a long moment. Then it transmits a single command across the fleet. "Withdraw. Reclassify system. Observation protocol initiated." One by one, the Devourer vessels slip back through folded space. The king lingers last, its damaged form casting a shadow across the void. Then it too recedes into darkness. The siphon lattice collapses completely. The sun stabilizes. Daylight returns in full, golden and warm and alive. On Earth, the creature that was once extinction incarnate lies still in the Nevada desert, not dead, but dormant. Its purpose complete, its threat neutralized. For now, Superman descends slowly through the atmosphere, his suit in tatters, his body pushed beyond every limit he knew he had. He lands in Metropolis just as the sun breaks through the clouds. Lois Lane is waiting on the street below. She runs to him. He catches her. Neither speaks. They don't need to. The Justice League regroups in the Watchtower as Earth's systems stabilize. Flash collapses into a chair. "Okay, new rule. Anything that comes through a space portal gets a questionnaire first." Aquaman smirks tiredly. Those are rarely the ones with diplomatic intentions. Wonder Woman looks out at the stars where the distortions vanished. They will remember what happened here. They will study us. They will return. Batman nods slowly. Yes, but next time they'll know what they're facing. Martian Manhunter stands apart, his expression distant. "I touched its mind at the end, before it withdrew." "What did you see?" Superman asks. Manhunter is silent for a long moment. Respect. Far beyond Pluto, in the silent void between galaxies, the Devourer King drifts through folded space. It reviews Earth's file, recalculates projections, updates classification. Threat level, undefined. Status, observation. Variable identified. Hope. Somewhere in its ancient code, a new subroutine begins to form. Not a strategy for conquest, a question. What makes them fight when calculation says they should surrender? The king does not have an answer, but it intends to find one. Back on Earth, the sun shines brighter than ever. Children play in streets that were war zones hours before. Emergency crews work alongside heroes to rebuild what was broken. And Clark Kent sits on the roof of the Daily Planet with Lois Lane, watching the city heal. "They'll come back," she says. "Probably. And we'll fight them again." "Definitely." She leans against his shoulder. "Think we'll win?" Clark looks at the skyline, at the people below rebuilding, at the heroes scattered across the globe still standing guard, at the sun burning steady and strong overhead. "We already did." In the distance, a child points at the sky and laughs. The darkness came. It measured everything, and for the first time in its eternal existence, extinction blinked.